Atiku Abubakar criticizes President Tinubu's administration over non-payment of wage awards and detention of labor activists. In Osun State, former APC National Chairman Bisi Akande denies issuing statement against defection of Governor Ademola Adeleke to APC. On the foreign scene, 10 people, including 6 children, killed in Israeli airstrike while waiting to fill water containers in Gaza. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Opayemuni. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has died in a clinic in London, United Kingdom. His spokesperson, Garuba Shehu, announced his demise today in a post on X, noting that the former president's family announced that he died this afternoon. Buhari, who served as the president of Nigeria from 2015 to 2023, was 82 years old. He also served as military head of state between January 1984 and August 1985. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has ordered Vice President Kashim Shettima to proceed to the United Kingdom to accompany Buhari's body back to Nigeria. A statement by spokesperson Bayo Onanuga said he has also spoken with Mrs. Aishat Buhari, the former president's widow, and offered his deep condolences. President Tinubu ordered flags that serve as a mark of respect for the departed leader. Born on December 14, 1980, into the family of Prince Bolanua and Chief Mrs. Mobolaji Niniola, Mrs. Bukola Ayodeji Adefila passed away on Monday and was laid to rest amid prayers for the repose of her soul. Mrs. Bukola Adefila, who was a star of Rave 91.7 FM and Western Spring Television until her death, was described as one with a loving and cheerful soul. Lydia Adegbaju completes the story.
Family, friends, colleagues and well-wishers gathered on Friday, 11th of July to pay their last respect to their beloved Mrs. Adebukola Ayodeji Adefila. Mrs. Bukola Adefila passed away on Monday, 7th of July 2025 at age 45. The funeral service, which was held at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Groundbreakers Assembly, was one filled with lots of emotions. Rave FM and Western Spring Television family were on ground to escort into the church the remains of the deceased. Mr. Bolade Niniola, the younger brother to Mrs. Adebukola Adefila, read the profile of the departed. He briefly remarked on the pains the family was put in by her untimely death.
She got married to the love of her life, Mr. Adebayo Adefila, in the year 2015, and the marriage was blessed with a wonderful son and a lovely daughter. Until her death, she worked at Rave FM, Western Spring Television stations in Oshobo. She was a born-again Christian and worshipped with her family at this church, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Groundbreakers Cathedral, at Akubele, before her untimely death. She is survived by her husband, children, parents, siblings, in-laws, and cherished family members, who are all in pains at our untimely and sad loss.
While giving his tribute, the Chief Executive Officer of Rave FM and Western Spring Television, Dr. Femi Adefila, described as a travesty the fact that he is doing a tribute on such a young soul. Dr. Adefila described Mrs. Adebukola Adefila as a diligent worker both in church and at work, one whose work ensures the smooth running of his broadcast station.
I knew Buki before Bayo knew Buki. I was a nexus between Buki and Bayo. Bayo is the last child of my dearly beloved mother, and a very, 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 very faithful brother to me, and I wanted the best for him. Buki was serving the overseer of my church, Bishop Mike Pabodele, and I saw the devotion, the commitment, the courage, and the fidelity. And I said, he'd be an ideal wife for my dearly beloved brother. Was a character that was taught to decipher and to study. She can be very stubborn, strong-headed, unyielding to compromise. But within brackets, she's a very faithful personality, a devoted worker, a kind-hearted person, and a lady that encouraged others in despair. I'm still at sea for why she refused to encourage herself.
Saddened by the early exit, Dr. Adefila also recounted his last moments with the deceased amid prayers for the soul of the departed and the children left behind.
I saw her on Sunday. She was with me. We had a conversation for about 8 years. We were to continue the conversation on Monday. But instead of getting a call from Buki, I got a call that she was dead. I'm CRC. And I'm asking so many questions. And I keep asking why. And I can't get an answer. I will promise that your children will do greater than you did. And they will grow older. And God be with you. And walk tall among the ancestors.
Meanwhile, speaking on behalf of Rave FM and Western Spring Television, the head of programs, Mrs. Damilola Raphael, recalled the working experience shared with Madam Buki, as fondly called, preaching love and unity among colleagues. In a somber tone, mourned her early exit.
Madam Buki, as was fondly called, was more than her role or her title. She was someone who lived her family quietly but powerfully. She was deft in how she carried herself, in how she processed her thinking, and in how she executed her craft in a way that lifted the standards for everyone around her. And her intelligence wasn't loud, but it earned deep respect. It was steady, it was thoughtful, it was unmistakable. You saw it in how she approached every task with care, how she treated people with quiet kindness, and how she brought excellence into every corner of her life. She gave her best in everything, and somehow she made it look effortless. She was young, too young to say goodbye to, and that very public. Many of us remember her as a peacemaker. When tensions rose, Mrs. Buhari was the one who found a way to bring people together when they need to. She didn't take sides. She built bridges.
Professor Adebusola Adepoju, speaking for the Groundbreakers Cathedral members, described the deceased as an easygoing woman and a mother indeed.
And there was a day I had to walk up to her and tell her, Madam, please, I want to move you away from this class. And she did not in any way try to argue with me. And she joined another class. She's a mother to the core. I teach our children in the children's church.
In an emotional rendition, the Rave FM and Western Spring Television family paid their last respect to the deceased. In his exhortation, the assistant pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Yemi Ogunwuyi, urged all present to lead a good life that culminates into an ending that is envied by all.
You have said so wonderful things about Buki you are done. But the question is this: what will be said about you when you leave? So the rest is in our hands. You and so you must search yourself. If Jesus is to come right now, even at this funeral service, as much as very many of us don't want to die, if Jesus should appear, how many of us will want to stand?
The funeral service concluded as the remains of Mrs. Adebukola Ayodeji Adefila was moved to a private cemetery to be laid to rest. Present at the funeral service was the husband of the deceased, Mr. Adebayo Adefila, the children and siblings, as well as Speaker, Osun State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Wale Egbedun, church members from Victory Chapel International, among others. Lydia Adegbaju, Western Spring Television News.
Moving on, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has slammed the administration of President Bola Tinubu over the non-payment of 4 months' wage awards to federal workers at the intention of a labor activist, Andrew Emelieze, who sought to protest the delay. In a statement, Atiku accused the federal government of failing to fulfill its promise of cushioning the economic hardship triggered by Tinubu's removal of fuel subsidy. The former vice president noted that the administration had promised to pay a temporary wage award to federal civil servants, while negotiations for a new national minimum wage were underway. He said despite taking a staggering 10 months to reach a figure, the government has only paid 6 months' worth of the promised 35,000 naira monthly allowance. Atiku also said President Tinubu's hasty decision to remove petrol subsidy on his first day in office triggered widespread economic hardship across the country. He also condemned what he described as government's callous indifference and utter disdain for workers' welfare. The statement further decried the recent arrest of Andrew Emelieze, who was allegedly detained for attempting to organize a peaceful protest demanding payment of an outstanding wage award. Demanding the immediate and unconditional release of Emelieze, Atiku described the activist's continued detention as an affront to democracy, a slap in the face of every Nigerian worker, and a chilling reminder of the authoritarian drift of the Tinubu administration. Presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Peter Obi, says true leadership must be rooted in humility and service to others. In a post via his official X handle, Mr. Obi responded to the viral photos and videos of him serving food at a recent private charity event in Imo State. He said his humility at the event was not a campaign strategy, adding that it was unfortunate, but something sincere was twisted by paid agents to something political. The former Anambra governor urged Nigerians to shift their mindset from performative charity to a culture of consistent compassion. Mr. Obi said he neither posted about the event nor invited the media, adding that content from the event was shared online by third parties outside of his team. He emphasized that the Jubilee of Hope was not a performance but an act of conscience, where the privileged are reminded of their responsibility to the less fortunate. The Senate spokesperson Yemi Adaramodu has declared that the ruling All Progressives Congress is not worried by the coalition of opposition forces, which recently adopted the African Democratic Congress as a platform for the 2027 general election. Speaking with the news agency of Nigeria in Abuja, Senator Adaramodu dismissed insinuations that the APC had been in panic mode since the unveiling of ADC as the preferred party by the opposition figures. Opposition figures under the aegis of the National Coalition of Political Opposition Movement had recently adopted ADC as its platform to challenge APC in the 2027 general election. However, Senator Adaramodu, who is the chairman Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, said there was no cause for alarm. Meanwhile, the Senate has said it cannot reinstate Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan until it receives and reviews a certified true copy of a court judgment in the case involving her and Senate President Godswill Akpabio. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Yemi Adaramodu, made this known in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria. The Senate had on March 6 suspended Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months following a disagreement she had with the leadership over a change in her seat. As part of the suspension, Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan's salary and security details were withdrawn, and she was barred from accessing the National Assembly premises. She later approached the Federal High Court in Abuja, where Justice Binta Nyako ordered the Senate to recall her from suspension. However, the court also found her in contempt and imposed a 5 million naira fine. Senator Adaramodu said the Senate had applied for the CTC of a judgment and would not take any action until the document is received and studied. Candidates of the All Progressives Congress, APC, have been declared the winner of the Lagos State local government election. The Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission said the APC won all the chairmanship seats and 375 out of 376 councillorship seats in the 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas in the state. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) won one councillorship seat at Ward D, Yaba. Yesterday's election recorded a low turnout of voters, while election materials got to some polling centers late. However, the conduct of the election was generally peaceful. Here in Osun State, first interim national chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC), Chief Bisi Akande, has denied reports that he issued a statement against the defection of Governor Ademola Adeleke to the party, saying such statement is fake and did not originate from him. Chief Akande said that he never at any point issued any statement, noting that the publication is the work of politicians desperate to contest election. He explained that for the past 12 months, he has told those interested in the state governorship under the APC to consult with the party leadership led by Minister for Marine and Blue Economy and former state governor Boyega Oyetola. Chief Akande said he has been abroad for the past 2 weeks, adding that the constitution of the APC is clear as to procedures for joining the party. To security, the Kogi state government says security forces have uncovered a network of criminal collaborators, including bread sellers and sachet water factories, aiding kidnapping gangs across parts of the state. In a statement, Kingsley Fanwo, the State Commissioner for Information and Communication, said joint security forces initiated a series of targeted operations in Kaba, Bono Ijumo, Yagba East, and Yagba West local government areas in response to recent spikes in insecurity. He said the operations followed the kidnapping and subsequent death of a retired army officer from Oduakwe, the abduction of a prominent farmer from Ponyo in Yagba East, and other similar incidents in Yagba West. He said the abducted farmer and several others were freed within days through sustained security efforts. In Kaduna State, the police command says it has arrested no fewer than 10 suspected armed robbers, 4 illegal arms fabricators, and 3 other suspects involved in kidnapping and arms trafficking across various parts of the state. The arrest also led to the recovery of 8 locally made guns, 16 cartridges, 3 vehicles, and a motorcycle. The command's public relations officer, Mansour Azan, who disclosed this in a statement, said the arrest followed intelligence-led operations and painstaking investigations targeted at dismantling criminal networks terrorizing parts of Kaduna and neighboring states. According to the police, one of the key arrests followed a robbery incident on June 30, 2025, when a 40-year-old commercial motorcyclist, Ismail Bello, was attacked and stabbed by a supposed passenger at Unguan Gwari, Kaduna, in a separate operation. Azan stated that operatives on June 19, 2025, arrested 2 suspects, Sanusi Bala and from Zamfara State, and Nura Bala from Zaria at Kano Road, Kaduna, while attempting to rob a victim of his tricycle. He noted that efforts are ongoing to apprehend other accomplices. In another breakthrough on June 4, 2025, police arrested 5 armed robbery suspects linked to cross-border criminal activity. Moving on, our state governor, Alex Oti, has affirmed his call for the creation of an additional state in the Southeast region, noting that Southeast is the only region across the 6 geopolitical zones with less than 6 states. Governor Oti, who said this after emerging from a closed-door meeting he held with Enugu State Governor Peter Mba, lamented that only the Southeast region is still having 5 states in Nigeria. He reiterated his call for the establishment of state police has been canvassed by some other states and expressed the hope that federal government would consider the idea of state police in no distant time. Also speaking, the governor of Enugu State said he came to rub minds with Governor Oti on issues of common interest for the 2 states, which is centered on providing a better life for the people. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted significant consignments of drugs concealed in unusual ways, according to NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi. allowed cannabis eaten inside microwaves imported from Thailand and cocaine embedded in ladies' lipsticks destined for Guinea was seized. At Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, NDLEA officers recovered 23 parcels of cannabis weighing 11.3 kg concealed within new microwaves on an Ethiopian Airlines flight from Bangkok via Addis Ababa. A suspect, Ezenwegbu Chike, was arrested in connection with the seizure on July 7. This follows a recent seizure of 420 grams of cocaine eaten in 84 female lipsticks bound for the UK. On July 11, NDLEA operatives intercepted another shipment of cocaine concealed in lipsticks among cargo containing attachments and cosmetics heading to Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. One Ezewelume Prince Afam, a businessman, was arrested in Lagos in connection with the case. Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has granted permanent employment status to 16 nurses who volunteered their services at the Yariman Bakura Specialist Hospital in Gusau, the state capital. This decision, according to a statement by the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Nafisa Maradun, comes as part of Governor Lawal's initiative aimed at revitalizing the state healthcare system following extensive renovations and upgrades to the hospital facilities. In addition to the new appointments, the statement revealed that efforts have been made to strengthen healthcare facilities across the state. The commissioner explained that many dilapidated hospitals are in the process of being reconstructed and equipped with modern medical technologies, which will facilitate more efficient diagnosis and treatment protocols. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come, Edo State Governor launches operation to combat insecurity in the state. We'll bring you more on this when we return.